So I suppose I'll move on to September 2nd. And in order to do that, I would have to begin by talking about the events that happened overnight, which includes a little bit before midnight. So I guess the first thing I'll talk about is Verobej and Drapala, or actually I'll wait for that, and first I'll talk about the stuff in the East. 4th Division and 16th Divisions defense against 21st and 228th and even 10th I'm sure Panzer Regiment of the German 21st Corps. So sneak attack by Polish 4th Infantry Division was able to kind of succeed, and they launched a counterattack late in the night, and they were able to get surprise. The element of surprise was in the Polish favor because Germans were not expecting such counterattack at all. They were expecting just Polish withdrawal, fight, and then withdrawal was the plan. But they're surprised because this Polish division fought back. And yet the 228th Division, despite being obviously not best quality division, it's weaker than 21st Infantry Division for sure. It still managed to repel this assault. After 3 hours, I believe, the attack only took 3 hours, and 16th Infantry Division kind of just relaxed, and they're put on side, but they weren't going to go along with this counterattack, and so basically it was almost meaningless. It didn't accomplish what they had intended to do in purpose. But perhaps a more interesting thing is what happened to the counterattack in the west of the front. So as Dracula and Verobej, those two generals had talked about, their counterattack was going to come late into the night, which meant basically dusk, or not dusk, basically like when it's still dark. I believe it's like 4 a.m. or something when that happened. I'm actually not sure about the exact time, but it happened definitely sometime between like 2 a.m. and then 6 a.m. When Verobej ordered 35th and 34th regiments to withdraw behind the Berda River, the River Berda, Dracula was given now an attack to use that space to counterattack with his forces. And actually, one little problem was that for them was that Guderian was not exactly doing nothing during his sleep at this time. He was still ready. He sent out a reconnaissance detachment in 3rd Panzer Division. Again, Guderian's order, not Schweppenberg, or Kluge's decision. And he wanted to move to Svikatovo overnight. So actually, understanding this, Bortanovsky, who I think he actually didn't get any sleep during this night. Bortanovsky didn't get any sleep during this night, although that's one of the things that I might have to compare sources to realize whether that's actually right. But basically, he ordered Dracula to change course, and understanding the movement of the Panzer Division's reconnaissance, Bortanovsky redirected 27th Infantry Division to this area, maybe so that the whole division force might be able to overcome and overpower the reconnaissance detachment, small group, and you can just be able to wipe it out. And a little problem was that this wasn't a clear-cut decision. It was a little changey. Bornowski gave one order, and then the next man made another order, and set the original order again, and then changed it. And of course, Dracula kept having to order some subordinates, different things, and as you can expect, that creates some confusion or disarray in the plans. But Dracula was able to control it, and he was able to cooperate with Verobij and get his action going. So he met with Verobij in 9th Division headquarters to talk about it. And during by the dawn of September 1st, since 27th Infantry Division was pretty much in absolute horrible shape for a counterattack, for marching miles and miles. This is what happened. 50th Infantry Division, 50th Infantry Regiment was able to catch the Germans by surprise at Svikatovo, where the German reconnaissance were, and they inflicted damage on these reconnaissance units. And in not too much later, the 23rd and 24th Infantry Regiments, the other two regiments of Dracula's, they were able to deliver a blow, not a powerful attack, but they were able to attack some Panzer units at the town of it's escaping me it's a town of Tushini. Town of Tushini is where they were, and just as Polish units might have seemed to be able to stop the Germans, the 6th Regiment suddenly moved forward, and basically they were able to kind of overturn all of the progress made by Dracula and Verobij overnight, and kind of take over the scene. So and this is what happened. 6th Panzer Division kind of here to save the encirclement, move forward, and since 22nd Infantry Division pretty much attacked with just infantry, it was supposed to be a raid more than a committed new front line. That's why they didn't bring the artillery to the front. So being a little uncoordinated, or majorly uncoordinated, they were susceptible to a brilliant, powerful attack by a panzer force, and that's why 6th Panzer Division was able to severely damage 27th Infantry Division, and was able to hurt a lot of 9th Infantry Division as well. And during this time, also a Pomeranian cavalry brigade suddenly went up to counterattack in this area as well. They had also moved south along with 27th, and they just joined the scene after seeing the 6th Panzer Division join. But this was not enough to help with the horrible situation up there. In fact, might have been a crucial mistake, because they were basically just pummeled by 6th Panzer Regiment as they came forward, as was 27th Infantry Division. So they were during this early morning attack, a counterattack, which failed. 6th Panzer Regiment was basically like they most certainly overpowered all of the Polish forces, 9th Division, 27th Division, and Pomeranian Cavalry Brigade. That's 3 big forces with I mean, I call that to include around like 6. I call that to include 6 regiments. And those 6 regiments were completely useless if they weren't able to withdraw. So it was a crucial moment, and once you obliterate these forces, there's almost nothing stopping them, the Germans, from just wiping out the rest of Pomorze army, which was pretty much just 15th Infantry Division. But this was a time where the Germans were actually unable to capitalize on this great moment, great opportunity. And it's because their tanks were out of fuel. This happens a lot of time in modern warfare. But the tanks had a strategically important opportunity, but they ran out of fuel, so they were unable to pursue the withdrawing Polish infantry and cavalry and let them free. Although they were able to inflict severe casualties, so semi success, but they were not able to get a complete absolute victory at that moment. But that was okay for Germans, because they were able to continue on. This is a problem for Poland, however, because the Polish army does not have a lot of troops, and they just need to last as long as possible. And further in the north, not just in the south, in Koronovo, where 22nd Infantry Regiment was attacked, you also had trouble with 35th Infantry Regiment as well, in the north side of 9th Infantry Division's position. So Verovich ordered a counterattack by 37th Regiment to attack the left flank of 3rd Panzer Division at Kornovo, but 3rd Panzer Division was able to push them back, and this was the not even 6th Panzer Regiment, but a smaller or not spearhead elements of the division. So that was pretty bad failure for the entirety of 9th Infantry Division. You were unable to defend against the Germans in the beginning of the day, or in the previous day, and then your a grand counterattack in another entire infantry division and another entire cavalry brigade, completely dismantled, and your left flank's in trouble as well, and your right flank's in trouble as well. So after pushing them back, the reserve 23rd Infantry Division was under direct command of Kluge's 4th Army, which means that it's not a part of any army corps. It's just an independent division that's directly under it. Kluge moved 23rd Infantry Division to near Guderian's area. It was not officially part of Guderian's corps, but it would be within that realm, just backing up in case some failure, or you need to use that division to use an additional to deliver an additional punch. And while this was happening, 23rd Infantry Division moved further east and helped consolidate that bridgehead that was established over the River Berta on September 1st, the previous night. And with the withdrawal of the Hoynitz detachment further north in the previous day, Guderian ordered the 2nd and 20th motorized divisions to now pursue that Polish infantry force, namely the 35th Infantry Regiment, namely the 35th Infantry Regiment. I'm just going to put that down in my notes, because one thing I missed. So 22nd Infantry Regiment South was also in a little bit of a buzz. They were in a little bit of trouble due to the actions of Second Army Corps' advances. So namely, famous Boma, of course, his 32nd Infantry Division, he renewed his attack and made another attack. In again, same thing with the 4th Infantry Regiment, but even more with 96th Infantry Regiment, attacking 22nd Polish Infantry Regiment, its main line. And what that does is that it adds more strain, more pressure. Imagine 22nd Polish Infantry Regiment as a rubber band. Then you're adding pressure on its right flank. You're adding pressure on its left flank. So what's going to happen? The rubber band might snap. And what happens if the band snaps? Everything in the middle, it's wide open. And okay, that might not be the best comparison to make here. I just thought of it out of the blue, but that's kind of what happened. You have attacks from all these Panzer Generals, great forces, and you have 32nd Infantry Regiment, Infantry Division Boma attacking in the exact same area, and trying to make a breakthrough. And in fact, they did make a breakthrough at this area sometime in the morning, and they were able to breach and reach the line in the morning, and they kind of split 22nd Regiment into north and to a little bit of it in the south of it. And since it was isolated from the rest of the entirety of the regiment was actually becoming isolated from the main part of 9th Infantry Division. So it another thing was it failed to fight against what's the other thing in 2nd Corps? Third Infantry Division. Fighting against 3rd Infantry Division. And in fact, they were kind of forced to withdraw south, not north, to the rest of 9th Infantry Division, but they were withdrawing south towards the city of Bydgoszcz, along with 15th Infantry Division. And this is how the day of it went. And if all right, I'm going to think about the all right, so okay, during the day, so out of the morning, the failed counterattacks by Verabij and Drapla, and then further attacks against 35th and 22nd Infantry Regiments. After all of that, and as I talked about how 22nd Infantry Regiment kind of became isolated, it became so isolated and independent that Verabij decided to move command of his southernmost regiment, 22nd Regiment, and move it over to 15th Infantry Division's command, because that's where it was geographically closer at that point, because it became pretty much isolated from 9th Infantry Division's core area. And once this happened, they continued to withdraw south to Bydgoszcz and support 15th Infantry Division, which really until now didn't have any significant fighting besides those with Net's Brigade and 50th Infantry Division, which is still significant. And for that unit, 15th Division, and more specifically the newly attached 22nd Infantry Regiment, an attack from 3rd Panzer Division, the 5th Panzer Regiment of it, attacked all of a sudden on the afternoon or the evening of September 2nd, and try to really cut them off, really cut off their line of retreat, and to try to isolate 22nd Regiment from 15th Infantry Division. And they kind of overran some elements of it, and kind of wiped past that isolated regiment, very weak at this point. And after further securing its bridgehead over the River Berta, it was kind of just able to move through and drive further east into Polish territory. And the armored division of, actually just armored regiment, because 6th Panzer Regiment wasn't part of this, but 5th Panzer Regiment meant while trying to continue further east, they ran out of fuel, which is again repeated process. This happened with 6th Panzer Regiment, its twin kind of older brother, and this happened exactly the same thing with 5th Panzer Regiment, although they lasted longer because they didn't have as much movement at the beginning of during the first day. But they ran out of fuel, and they were unable to move, and they had to halt for a few hours. Although supply columns with oil were able to get through on the front line through Polish resistance. There was Polish resistance trying to sabotage the German oilers, the German supply columns, but the supply units were able to gun them down, unfortunately, and they were able to supply 5th Panzer Regiment to conduct their goals. So 32nd Infantry Regiment was doing that with 96th and 4th Infantry Regiment. Another movement by Adolf Strauss's corps was by the 3rd Infantry Division, that was also a part of his corps. So around midday, actually, while 96th Regiment and 4th Regiment were moving through, specifically 96th Regiment was the main one. It was both Adolf Strauss and von Bock were both decided to watch this advance, as they talked about some things. But not Boma. Boma was not a part of that. Schweppenberg was talked to by von Bock, as von Bock had talked to I'm sorry, not Schweppenberg. Schweppenberg had been talked to, yes, previous day, but General Fedor von Bock began talking to Adolf Strauss in order to tell him about what position should he do with his 2 great infantry divisions, and how should he use them to facilitate a breakthrough to reach actually halfway across the corridor in the south. That would be pretty good, and if he would be able to maintain pressure against Bydgoszcz, that'd be good.